Alright guys, let's go ahead and do more exercises just to give you a better idea of how Golang works. So let's declare a variable and let's say the variable d is equals to 5 and the variable f is equals to 30 or 50. Okay, so now let's print the variable. Let's print variable d and see what happens. So if we do go run main go, you see these are all throwing errors. Okay, they are all undefined. So which means in Go, before you use a variable, you must define it. Go is very particular about definition. But let's say we want to use it without defining. We want the compiler to infer the type of the variable from the value we assign to it. What we can do is simple. We can just add this. This is called the walrus operator in Python. Walrus, okay, operator in Python, but in Go it has a different name. So in Go it's called the short variable declaration operator. Short variable declaration because it allows you to create a variable and assign a value to it and force the compiler to infer the variable type on the go. So if we print this now, if we run this code now, you're gonna see yeah, we declared f not used. Go doesn't also allow you to just declare variables and not have them used. You must use your variables when you declare them in Go. I like that about Go, and that's one of the reasons it's fast. It eliminates waste. Okay, so if we just run this again, everything's gonna be fine. You see, 5. All right. Let's go a little further into static type declaration in Go. Okay, static type declaration. After that, we look at declaration. After that, we look at dynamic type declaration, and they are quite similar. All right, so let's say here we define a variable x. Okay, we can say var x. Then we tell it the type. That's how you define variables in Go. When you write the keyword var, you name the variable, then you must write the type. Okay. So let's say we've defined it to be float. Now we can use x freely within our code and say that x can be 34. Remember it's float, so 64. Now we can actually call on x and see what's inside. Okay. But also we can do something interesting. Let's print the type of x. We can say x is of type. And how do we get the type? Okay. This is how we get the type. Okay, so we're good to go. Now we run the code and see. Of course, we have to attach the value of x here. Run. I think there's a bug here. Good. And I hope you saw that mistake before me. So I'm gonna clear my screen just so that you see what's going on here. Run main.go and boom. You see, 34. So it printed this x here as 34, and then it prints. I think there's a mistake here too. Yeah, the mistake is that we're supposed to use printf instead of print line. So if we do printf, now we can be able to fetch the type, the variable type of x. So here we can actually rerun our program, main.go, and boom, there we go. 34. X is of type float 64. You see, x is of type float 64, and this gives 34. Okay. All right. Let's go to dynamic type declaration. So for that purpose, I'm going to maybe just comment this out. I'll comment this out so that you can see it when we go to dynamic type declaration. So in dynamic type, we're going to do something like var x. Again, we give it float 64, but at the same time, we want to dynamically assign a value to it. You see, that's just the main difference. But we can also do the short variable type declaration. We can say y is equals to 40. So now when we're printing, we can interestingly see what we can do with printing. We can print x, and of course we can print y, and then we can print their variable types. So I'm just going to copy this and copy it again. So we've done that for x. Now we do that for y. So what we expect here is 45, 40, float, and integer. Remember that we said that the compiler should try and make a guess of what value this is. All right, just because we did a short variable type declaration. So if we come here, I'll do clear so that it comes up clear, and then we'll run go run main.go, and boom, you see it gives us 45, which is for this. Okay, this line is printing 45 and this line is printing 40. X is of type float 64, you see, tells us correctly that this is float 64, but this is where the magic is. Y is of integer. So the compiler correctly guessed this. So this concludes we can do some other tests before we conclude our sojourn on variables. Alright, another thing is that there's a magic, a certain kind of magic that Go is able to do. So I'm just going to clear this so we can work with it. Go is able to do a certain magic, and let's say, and that is the fact that you can declare a lot of variables at a time, at once. Okay, so and these can also be variables of different types. So we can do like A, variable B, variable C, and then we can assign values. A can be 3, B can be 4.2, and C can be bar. You see? So just make sure there's enough space. This is how we declared this. We declared all the variables in one place, and then we assigned all the values in one place. So which means we can print now. We can print A, print B. In case you don't know how I am duplicating the line, that's Control C and Control V, or Command C, Command V if you're on Mac. Control C plus Control V. That's copy and paste. If you do it on any line in VS Code, it will duplicate the line. All right. So now, first off, we're printing all the values. Now we want to print their types and see how the compiler correctly inferred their types. So we're gonna do A is of what variable? This is for A and this is for B. B is of type B, and then we can do the same thing for C. We can say C is of type C. All right, now it's time to print it. So I'll clear this so that it can come with a clean slate and run. Boom. So we have this line is printing correctly the value of A, which is 3, B is 4.2, and C is bar. Okay, now we're looking at this, which is this line. Okay, so this printed correctly the variable type of integer, float because it has a decimal place, and then string. So this is a very powerful thing that Go can do. All right, so in Go you can one last thing before we finish up on variables, you can do something like this in Go. Okay, we can assign a value to a variable in Go, but you can't use a number. You can't do this. You can't assign a number to a number. You're going to run into an error. Okay, and I think that's where we will be ending in this tutorial. See you in the next video.